Hi everyone, it's Tracey here from Art Fiber Stitch, and today I'm looking at making this lovely bird. Now I'm looking at this fabric here, this scrap I have which I thought would make a lovely background. I know there's a lot of things I could do with it, but I've decided I'm just going to use it as a background and pop a bird on the front. And I'm looking at this really interesting sequin fabric, a stretchy glittery fabric which is really in your face, but if you put something over top of it I think it would be all right. And I've also grabbed out this bit of lace, and I like this. It's really a leaf, but I think it's kind of feather kind of shaped. I think we can use that. So I'm just grabbing a few bits and bobs that I think will help me make something birdish. And here I'm cutting out another piece of this lace fabric, and it's going to be the collar on my little bird, I think. Yeah. So this is that marvelous fabric that you would think would not be useful in any way, but I'm hoping it will be. See, with that over top, it really does. You get that lovely iridescence underneath. I think we can do this. I'm going to use that extra little scrap there up the top. In fact, let's speed this up and have a look at how you can pull it together. Now, you really should just make a template and have a pattern, but I just wanted to go first, just in the mood. So I'm just going to cut out a basic birdie kind of shape and play with it as I go. I've got a yellow head now. That'll be interesting. And that nice little glittery bit. I think that's sort of bird-like. The collar there, yes, that would work. And I have a piece here of patchwork material. It's a nice fabric. I'm just going to add in the back of my bird there. And really, once you've got something that you kind of like, you grab your glue stick and you can just start to put a dab underneath and hold some of these bits all together, you see. That's what I'm going to do. There. And then once I've got it sufficiently sorted, I probably still need to keep trimming and changing as I go, but I'm just trying to cut out some sort of shape here that will go over some of that. And I'm just using a sheer fabric. I like using shears. I like the way that they change the fabrics underneath. So you can see I'm going around the bird's head here, and I'm doing the belly shape. I haven't decided the rest of it yet, but we'll get there. I'm just trying this lace kind of wing now and thinking about it, but I don't think it really shows up that well, you know. I don't really see it, but I think to start with I'm just going to do a wingy kind of shape here out of this overlay over this sheer fabric. I can work with that. I'm going to try it in this frame again and just make sure it's kind of like what I want. But boy, it really does change a lot. I will move it a little bit and maybe change the tilt. Do I want it looking up? Do I want it looking down at the flower? What do I want? And with all of these changes, it keeps building itself. It's telling me what it wants. So I'm just making a separate wing shape here. And I'm thinking, if I put that underneath that, what happens then? Well, it certainly does stand out better like that. I'll keep playing. Right, I've got something sort of bird-shaped, and I do have a glitter in there. You don't know whether you can really see it at the moment, but I do. I'll put the lace on top. I think I've got one wing there, and then second wing here, you see. Maybe that's the one behind. So I've got a lovely background already, and I've got a sort of birdie shape having a little peek into the scene. Let's see if we can just do a little bit of stitching now, and with the special fabric, whether we need to do very much at all, I don't know. I'm going to grab a needle and a thread. I could use some of this shiny thread if I wanted. Why not? I'll try some of that to start with. It's handy. I'm really just wanting to get it tacked down, you know. So I'm going to remove that. I know where I want it, sort of there, sort of. And I'm just going to do a running stitch. Nope. Don't know how well it's going to go up through that stretchy sequin fabric. Doesn't even matter if it's on the edge because I can do several stitches. I'm going to go through all of those layers. There we go. And through that shape do I want you to be? Oh, it's okay. We'll work on it. But I love the way that you can cut bits out to bring the brighter colours through if you want, or you can obscure it. And that's the beauty. I'm just going to stitch over to there. Now, if you were doing this properly, of course, you'd have a picture of a bird. You'd do a little template first. You might use iron-on to hold all of your pieces. I just went with the glue stick and just went for it. And you don't have to. Right, go up here to hold that down. There. I'm just going to go, I've got a tiny bit left of this. I'm just going to go down here. This edge is not going to be seen, but it helps to hold it down and to get the cotton where I want it. And I'm just going to go up there. There we go. And use the last bit of this to try and hold some of this down. Now I can just take this and I can go, okay, didn't want you, trim you up. And we'll have another look. I do like that. I do like this shiny underneath. Alright, but our bird is not really bird-like just yet. I do like that. Maybe I'll put in some thicker lines. I could have used this material differently. I could have picked out this pretty flower and done some stitching on it. I'm just looking to see if I can just use the background as is and just have the one thing on it. And if you were to do something special, like this little bird is, I'm hoping is going to be special, then, you know, looking for a nice piece of background, we really changed its dynamic. And just around, because I think this is mainly the underside of his wing. I'm going to do two rows, just to make sure it really stands out. Back over here. And try and suggest a wing shape, I think. This would be the feathers underneath. Sort of a feathery shape. these are the under feathers I think that we would want. Want that top bit to be darker. What could we put over it? Well, it's already very blue, isn't it? Maybe I've got something else I can put there. Have faith though. I think this is slightly the wrong shape, really. Might not even keep any of that yet. I don't know. We'll put a pin there. It'll remind me I want to do something. If I didn't want to stitch around it, I could just do some seed stitch, but we'll stick with the running stitch. That's better. Well, I think that's a brave start. Now I wanted to show you, can you see? Lovely. This bit needs lightening up a little bit. I might bring in some lighter colour thread now and decide on how we're going to make this face more realistic. There's a bit of yellow under there. I wonder if we could get a bit more yellow popping up. Let's have a look. I'm just going to take little bits out like that. I think I've got some yellow spots. That's nice. Wow, that looks a little bit like feathers, doesn't it? It could work. It's very jewel-like, isn't it? If you had a different shape beak, we could call him a hummingbird. We may do that. Just look at these cutouts though. I'm leaving the wing for the moment. And here where we cut these bits out of this overlay, I'm just doing a little bit of a few little stitches in a green because it's in between that yellow and that blue. I'm just trying to make it all work. It doesn't have to just be running stitch. Sometimes it can be seed stitch or just ordinary little stitches that help. It's coming along. I just wanted to show you I did a little bit of this seed stitch here, blend that in, and then I had leftover green, so I put a little bit here, did a little bit of seed stitch on that and on this, just to blend it in and hold all those things down. So it's almost like one piece of material now. We're getting there. A little bit more. The beak has to come off. That beak must come off. I'm just going to do it. Let's get a shape first. Something more like that. Should it be more curved? We need an eye. That's too big. He just looks silly. Oh, I don't know if this would work. These little brads might be the go. That's tiny. More the kind of size I'm after. Oh, hang on. What else can we do? About there. And we'll cut it. Right, so we've got a little thing, but I think it needs a bit of white or something underneath it. What do I have? What do I have? Oh, a little bit of calico maybe. I'm going to turn it and spread these. There we go. Oh, okay. It's a crazy bird. It'll do. I'm just using a little bit of black thread now, and I'm just going to sew that on. And I just can't resist fiddling with this shape. Changing the shape again. Okay, I think I've cut this a little bit out here. You know, I could have moved it. That looks nice too. But that, I'm going to get some shiny threads out. I'm just going to do a little bit more stitching and we'll call it done, I think. I found some yellow, orange, green, turquoisey colour. We'll see what we can do with that. Start with a bit of yellow, I think. But I do want to get this thing here happening, so I'm going to attach it. And I'm just going to put some little highlight kind of stitches there. We could even do some little chain, like a chain there, detached chain. Okay, I feel like I've done enough. Just wanted to see if I could show you some of these shiny iridescents in there. We've got some threads, some cut out bits. You know, he looks quite alright, I think. And our sort of black and white, very, very neutral kind of background, that worked well because it allowed our bejeweled bird here, you know, to come in. I still don't know about the shape. I think there's something a bit wrong here, but you know, I'm just gonna say, okay, it's our bird. And it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but I like the way it came together, and I do think that that iridescence really did make it look more like a hummingbird, so I'm glad we changed that beak. And looks like it's flying in to taste the nectar of that flower. But look at the scraps that you have and how you might be able to use them. I think that lace and that funny sequin fabric, you know, that worked pretty good with an overlay over the top. I like it. I hope you do too. If you like it, don't forget to press like and subscribe. See you next time. We'll make something else. Thanks again for watching.